Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala sayyidil mursaleen. So today we're going to talk about murder and killing and what is the story of Abel and Cain in the Quran has given us to learn from. So in Surah Al-Ma'idah, Surah number 5, in verse 27, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to tell the story of Abel and Cain, Abil and Habil, and they are the sons of Adam. And this is because the Prophet ﷺ, of course, doesn't know it is all from Allah. It's not that he lived in that era, and all of these stories are things that it is related to him through Archangel Gabriel from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم واتلو عليهم نبأ ابني آدم بالحق إذ قربا قربانا فتقبل من أحدهما ولم يتقبل من الآخر قال لأقتلنك قال إنما يتقبل الله من المتقين. Relate to them, in truth, O Prophet, the story of Adam's two sons, how each offered a sacrifice. Abel's offering was accepted, while Cain's was not. So Cain threatened, I will kill you. His brother replied, Allah only accepts the offering of the sincerely devout. So the trigger here is envy. And the trigger here is that, why are you better? Why are you better than me? Which is the same thing that the Shaytan disobeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because of envy towards Adam. Why is Adam better than me? Why should we prostrate in respect to him? And here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at that time, before when somebody makes sacrifice for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends a lightning and takes that or burns that or touches that as the sign of acceptance. And that was in that time. So when they were giving something for the sake of Allah, Abel provided the biggest and the best sheep that he has for the sake of Allah, while Cain was miserly and he found the worst wheat of his crops and provided. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not accept that because it wasn't the best, it wasn't the sincerest. So that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted from Abel and not from Cain. So what is it that his answer was, his brother was, that Allah accepts from those who are sincere. So sincerity here in what they gave. And then he continued, this is Abel, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم لأن بسطت إلي يدك لتقتلني ما أنا بباسط يدي إليك لأقتلك إني أخاف الله رب العالمين. So he did not even offer to defend himself, which is amazing. He said, even if you were come to kill me, I will not defend myself to kill you. And he allowed him to do that because he told him, I fear Allah, that if I kill you, if I'm the one I kill you, I fear Allah. So the fear of Allah is more important for Abel than losing his life and killing his brother, even if it was in self-defense. And there is a similar story that happened way after that, after the death of the Prophet ﷺ, which is the story of Uthman radiallahu anhu, the third guided Khalifa. They gathered around his home with a conspiracy to kill him. And he could have called the army, he was the Khalifa, but he didn't feel that his blood is worth killing the blood of others. And he allowed them. He just sat and they came and killed him. Said, I do not want to spill the blood of somebody else who's a fellow Muslim, and unjustly. And so this story repeats itself, like killing somebody is a major, major sin, and that somebody is willing to sacrifice themselves rather than commit that sin. And then he continues, إني أريد أن تبوأ بإثمي وإثمك فتكون من أصحاب النار وذلك جزاء الظالمين. I want to let you bear your sin against me along with the other sins, then you will be one of those destined to the fire, and that is the outcome of those who are wrongdoers. That is the punishment of those who are wrongdoers. And so that means you will take even my sins by killing me. So because he is unjustly killed, so the sins of Abel will be taken by that action. And so فطوعت له نفسه قتل أخيه فقتله فأصبح من الخاسرين. Yet even this argument and warning that I will not fight back, that you will become to the fire of hell if you kill me, he still went ahead and killed him. And then he was a loser. And then, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because this was the first killing ever in humanity, he didn't know, what to do with the corpse after it died. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had two crows fight with each other, and one of them killed the other, and then he buried the one who was killed. And so that's when فبعث الله غرابا يبحث في الأرض ليريه كيف يواري سوءة أخيه قال يا ويلتى عجزت أن أكون مثل هذا الغراب فأواري سوءة أخي فأصبح من النادمين. And so he then saw this, and he said, I have failed to be like this crow and bury my brother. And he became regretful at that stage when he realized what he has done. And that's the most important verse here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, من أجل ذلك كتبنا على بني إسرائيل أنه من قتل نفسا بغير نفس أو فساد في الأرض فكأنما قتل الناس جميعا ومن أحياها فكأنما أحيا الناس جميعا ولقد جاءتهم رسلنا بالبينات ثم إن كثيرا منهم بعد ذلك في الأرض لمسرفون. And as such, we have ordained on the Bani Israel, which happened to be in the Torah, but it is also mentioned in the Quran. That means it applies to us as well. Whoever takes a life, unless it is for punishment or mischief, then it will be as if they killed all humanity. And whoever saves a life, it will be as if they saved all of humanity. And even though that the messengers came with clear proofs, that people still transgressed after that throughout the land. So this kind of reflects on why humans kill others. Examples of what happened last week, and how senseless killing and innocent lives are gone just simply without any justification. There are two aspects of this. First of all, that somebody who does this has no sense of punishment after life and the consequences. So there is no sense of consequences and fear from Allah. Because if they feared Allah, they couldn't take the life of so many people. They couldn't take even the life of a creature or creation of Allah unjustly, let alone a human being. And the devastation that happens to those people who are unjustly died, who are unjustly killed and murdered. And so that's one aspect that is a trigger. Then once I would say, well, there are many Muslims who do this. They believe, they pray, and yet they kill. They kill others unjustly, including fellow Muslims. So that's where the second part is, which is the shaitan and the nafs, the soul that is ammara bisu, that somebody is, the intuition that comes from somebody to do this, as well as the shaitan. Because when somebody wants to do evil, when somebody wants to think about an idea, then that is bad, that is evil. The shaitan will push them towards this. They will encourage them. They will kind of make them think more about it and indulge in it and think without the consequences, just like somebody would commit any sin, not just killing, for a desire or for theft or for gaining something that is haram. The shaitan will push them toward that. That's when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to the shaitan that those who are my servants who believe in me, you have no control on them. You only have control on those who follow you. That means those who are away from Allah. So then when this happens, people will justify, even Muslims, they will justify it for their own gains or for their own purposes, but it is really the work of shaitan. Because if somebody really sits 1 second and think, am I justified to take the life of somebody else? It's different if it's self-defense. It's different because if somebody, killed somebody else and they are being punished as such, that's allowed in Islam. But to unjustly take the life of somebody is a major sin that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, somebody will be accountable, unless, of course, they are alive and repent. And then Allah is forgiving. But the person who was killed will still take from the rewards of that person on the Day of Judgment, because their rights have not been returned. They've died. But what if somebody killed somebody and then they died? They didn't repent. That's it. They are guaranteed the fire of hell. Guaranteed, 100%. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us this to reflect on it, that spilling the blood of others and justly is, that means that is the fire of hell waiting for those people. And one of the things that we really, unfortunately, don't propagate enough, that Islam is very strict about taking the lives of anybody, despite all the media and what they say. And I will, inshallah, end here and